Now, let's read about how the barbaric Europeans stole this country from the Native Americans.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the references and details you only notice rewatching Recess as one of those dreaded grown-ups.
In a few years, they're all going to be grown-ups like me, and all those good times will just be memories for them too.
Number 10, the prison break intro. It might be one of the most memorable openings to a Disney Channel show ever. Not only does it have a super catchy tune, it also serves as a brilliant introduction to our host of characters and the antics they'll get up to in the series. The intro itself is a self-contained attempt at a prison escape. We get the sound of marching thanks to drumming in the composition and a characteristic whistling, both of which seem to connote jail. When the plan fails in the end, the kids are sent back inside in single file and Miss Finsters slams the door shut, which sounds a lot more like a jail door than a school door. The whole thing hinges on the idea of school feeling like prison when you're a kid. Number 9, the characters.
Wow, did you hear that, Deej? I got chops!
I've been telling you that for years.
It's no coincidence that our main 6 are so different from each other. On one level, it's easier for young minds to distinguish between them, but there's also something to be said about the message of getting along with people who are so different from you. While each member of the gang has their own thing, they're connected by their shared values.
His newest poem will surely be his best poem yet.
Mikey's rehearsing his poem this afternoon. I say we go over and let him know his friends are behind him.
Yeah, you're right. He is.
Recess is also one of the few kids' cartoons of the 90s to let their characters grow as the show progresses and ebb out of their stereotypes. Vince isn't just the athletic kid. He also likes to cook, for example. Each little character trait makes it clear a lot of thought and love was put into these characters in the writing room.
So I made her this. It's a get well card. It's from me and anyone else who wants to sign it. This is my independent study project, and I don't care who likes it.
Number 8, the kids being kids.
She's gone. I'm getting too old for this.
Some of the best humor in this show stems from the gang reminding us of their age.
I'm getting out of here, and as I play and breathe, I'm returning that C note.
So much of the series tackles adult frameworks that it's easy to forget these are a bunch of 4th graders. Every once in a while, though, the writers remind us with a quick joke or two.
Of course! Principal Prickley! He must be loaded!
I bet he makes hundreds of dollars a year.
For instance, in the episode The C Note, TJ finds a big one tucked away in an envelope outside the school. When he offers to split it with his friends, the kids go off about all the lavish things they'll do with the money. As a kid, you're right there with them, but as an adult, it cannot be more endearing to remember their age and realize they have no actual concept of money yet.
Let's split it 6 ways, and we're rich, I tell you, rich!
Number 7, Principal Prickley and Miss Finster's pasts.
Hey, listen to this. The children seem to love young Meryl Finster and her innovative new ideas.
Must be a misprint.
While Authority serves as the major antagonist in the show, Recess dedicates entire segments to humanizing its inhibitors of fun. We get glimpses of their pasts, of the kids they used to be before they inevitably had to grow up and get jobs and all the rest of it.
Hey, who's this with Madonna?
Madonna? Well, that's me and your grandma in Guam back in '52. Aggie and me sure had fun together back in those days.
It's not that the concept is lost on the younger viewers, but it hits a lot harder for adults who might see themselves in the uptight Miss Finster or grouchy Principal Prickley, whose name is also something adults might cock their heads at, by the way. Youngsters might sympathize with the adults a little more, but we feel a whole other level of sadness for who the system has managed to turn them into.
So go ahead. Put a whoopee cushion in my chair. Cover my carpet with fake vomit. Make fun of my big, saggy butt. But don't you ever say I don't care about summer vacation, because those memories are the last part of childhood I got left.
Number 6, adult themes. We touched on it briefly, but Recess is known for its clever, if startling, reproductions of adult concepts in ways children can make sense of.
Hey, check it out. Stuff from the outside.
A leaf, I remember those.
How much you want for it?
$5, $2.50 for the stem.
But I only got $1.34.
Sorry, I got a lot of other customers. Maybe next time.
No!
In the episode Economics of Recess, TJ returns to school after a week out sick. to discover that everyone is now operating through the exchange of stickers.
It's water. You can't charge for water.
2 stickers!
But I don't have any stupid stickers.
Then you and I have a problem!
No, you don't. No problem at all. Hey, Teej, take it easy. I'm not made out of stickers, you know.
The story effectively explores reckless capitalism, greed, and the dangers of investing in fads. Then there was that episode that scared every kid out of their wits, where Miss Finster comes up with a punishment akin to solitary confinement. TJ totally loses it after he's sent in.
This old man, he played too. He played knick-knack on my shoe.
Had enough, Detweiler?
Yes, oh yes, TJ's had enough.
Fine, then you may come out. If you promise to be a good little boy and follow my rules my way from now on.
Oh yes, Miss Finster, TJ's good. TJ's a good little boy.
It's horrible seeing what he becomes afterward, completely indoctrinated and petrified of the box. But it's even worse when you remember it was inspired by real-life scenarios. Number 5. Miss Grotke knows what's up.
Now, where was I? Oh yes, the evil corporate polluters.
Miss Grotke was always our favorite teacher, mostly because she's such a stark contrast to Finster, and it was always obvious she cared about her students. Watching the series back, though, we find out just how progressive she is.
I thought we'd try some alternate teaching methods. Let's start by refocusing our chi.
Refocusing our chi?
Representing the counterculture of the 60s hippie movement, Miss Grotke is as liberal as they come. On one occasion, she can be heard teaching off-the-record history and highlighting a version of events we know is closer to the truth than what's been recorded in American textbooks.
And so the noble Native Americans shared their bountiful foodstuffs with the undeserving European savages.
Elsewhere, she's seen teaching about global warming, a reminder that this series aired from the late 90s to the early 2000s, a time when these topics weren't nearly as talked about as they are today.
Now remember, class, please take this new history book with a grain of salt, since it focuses primarily on the history of white Western males.
Number 4. Cold War motifs.
I say we tell Finster he's a communist.
If you're a history buff, you'll see Cold War motifs absolutely permeate this show.
Jared, there's been a situation. The president needs your advice.
Again?
Sorry.
In some episodes, government officials actually make an appearance, and they don't come to just talk either. The themes are perhaps most apparent in the episode where the 3rd Street Gang suspects Grotke of being an anti-American spy, or maybe in the one where TJ pretends to be a Soviet spy in order to get 2 military personnel to reconcile. With Recess having been released a few years after the fall of the Soviet Union, it's clear the conflict was still greatly present in the global consciousness, giving us tons of tongue-in-cheek quips and cementing the show as an insightful reflection of its time.
You're gonna write me an essay all about how it's wrong to lean on people, unless it's in the direct geopolitical interests of the United States of America.
Number 3. All the references.
Jefferson? I always thought that was a statue of the Headless Horseman from Irving's immortal Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
If you first watched Recess as a kid, we're willing to bet you didn't realize just how many references are sprinkled throughout. From throwaway lines to entire episodes dedicated to a particular piece of media, the references feel endless. In one episode, TJ and Vince take on the personas of their in-universe version of the Hardy Boys.
But this does look like a case for the Barnaby Boys. Our first mystery, the case of the curious custodian.
In another, Gus rules like King Solomon. The episode A Genius Among Us is an homage to Good Will Hunting. Meanwhile, Schoolworld is an homage to 2001: A Space Odyssey.
It is time for recess.
Are you sure? I mean, according to my watch.
I am incapable of error.
Even in the Halloween episode, Terrifying Tales of Recess parodies 3 classic spooky stories. We'd be here forever if we tried to list them all, but it's a lot of fun to rewatch the series with a broader knowledge of pop culture staples. Number 2. The Schoolyard Hierarchy.
Would you listen here, Bob? Who graduated and made you king?
Probably one of the first major gags you notice watching the show is the whole hierarchical system among the kids.
6th graders!
It's a reflection of human society, especially through history as they're ruled by a monarch, King Bob. There's also a small nod to ancient Rome in the intro, as we see a child awaiting judgment and King Bob ultimately giving a thumbs down. There's a set of laws everyone on the playground follows, as well as social norms. There are also roles some of the kids have adopted, like the diggers or the hustler kid who's always trying to sell something. It's essentially the dynamic that drives the show, creating many of the conflicts and overall story of the gang trying to survive out there in the 4th grade.
Some dumb kid? Who does he think he is calling TJ some dumb kid?
Now, Spinelli, you promised.
You sit there on your 6th grade butt, ruling over the playground like some sort of big shot. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Playground King. You're nothing but some dumb kid.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Recess as a symbol of liberty. Recess as a practice is a break from something, like classes, or prison if we're going off the intro. Those who worked on the cartoon seem to have crafted narratives with exactly this symbol of liberty in mind, and that's not a stretch either.
Sure, Gus, but a trip to the boys' room can't buy back what they took from me.
What'd they take?
They took my word. They made it into something ugly and unclean. Well, 2 can play that game.
Many of the storylines focus on the gang grappling with individuality and freedom in the social order of the playground, or even that of school administration, like in the episode where TJ inspires a sit-in to save the school's jungle gym.
All these kids unified against the forces of oppression. It's so beautiful. Yeah, real beautiful. But what's the man up to now? That's what I want to know.
While in the show, Recess only sends the kids from one system into another, there's something amazing about seeing the kids try their best to navigate their society, just like we're all doing in the adult world.
Yeah, and if you think about it, we're all just some dumb kid to somebody in this crazy mixed-up universe.
Are you more of a TJ, Spinelli, Vince, Gretchen, Mikey, or Gus? Let us know in the comments.
So next time you go around calling a guy some dumb kid, just remember this. You're one too. And let's face it, Bob, if us dumb kids don't stand up for each other, who will?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.